So let us proceed. So let us move on to rate theory. As discussed earlier, plate theory has its own limitations, that it doesn't describe or doesn't discuss the parameters which are responsible for band broadening. Okay, and that is overcome here in rate theory, and the mathematical expression of rate theory is given by Van Demeter equation. The Van Demeter equation is the basic interpretive equation of column efficiency, okay, mainly with respect to the peak width or band broadening whenever the compound is traveling down the column. This equation considers various contributions to diffusion broadening of the chromatographic band, and so it incorporates various terms that include diffusion coefficient. And Van Demeter equation, as I told you, H is equal to A plus B by U plus Cu, whereas this A is nothing but contribution of multiple path lengths to H, contribution of longitudinal diffusion to H, and C is contribution of mass transfer under non-equilibrium condition to H. This small u is flow rate. These three factors are responsible for band broadening. Okay, that is A, B and C. They are responsible for band broadening, and thus these factors are included here in Van Demeter equation. The equation gives an approximate relationship between flow rate and plate height. H is nothing but HETP, that is height equivalent to theoretical plate. Let us first look at the factor A, which is contribution of multiple paths to H. Now, what do we mean by multiple paths? These multiple paths for the solute molecules passing down the column could be because of two reasons. First, non-uniform particle size of the stationary phase, and second, non-uniform packing of stationary phase. This in detail we have discussed earlier in my video. Okay, so let us quickly see this. This is the column, and each circle represent the particle of the stationary phase. So here we can see all the circles are of same size. So whenever any sample is introduced here at the top of the column, those molecules, okay, those molecules can have almost same path when they are traveling down the column, and all the molecules will reach to the detector almost at the same time, and thus detector will detect their presence for a shorter time, and thus a sharp peak can be obtained. Okay, but instead of this, if the particle size of the stationary phase inside the column is non-uniform, like this, that some of the particles are bigger, okay, some are smaller, so in that case, suppose these are the two molecules which are passing down the column, this molecule will have different path, okay, whereas this molecule will have different path. So these two molecules will pass over the detector at different times. It may happen that the disturbance during the travel, this molecule is taking longer time to reach to the detector, whereas another molecule which has lesser disturbance while traveling down will reach to the detector in a short span of time. So in that case, detector will keep on detecting the response for longer time, and thus the band or peak will be broader. So bandwidth or peak width will be broader, it will not be sharp. Okay, so this is because of non-uniform particle size. Second is non-uniform packing of the stationary phase. It may happen that inside the column the particles are of the same size, but at some places the particles are very tightly packed, whereas at some places they are loosely packed. Okay, so this tight packing is as good as a big particle. It is so tight that these molecules which are passing down, it is unable to penetrate. Okay, and thus because of this non-uniform packing, different solute molecules will have different path lengths to travel, and thus they will pass over the detector for a longer time, and detector will keep on receiving the response for longer time. That will increase the peak width. Okay, that is band broadening will be there if non-uniform packing of stationary phase is there. Okay, this factor A is mathematically expressed as 2 lambda dr, where this lambda is nothing but the packing factor. Okay, so from this equation, Van Demeter equation, now I am talking about this factor. What is my aim? My aim is to reduce H. I want lesser H. Okay, because in lesser H I will be getting good resolution in lesser retention time, with lesser retention time. Okay, so this is my aim. I want to reduce H. So if I want less value or reduced value of H, then I should have lesser value of A. For lesser value of A, I should have lesser dr, lesser lambda. What is this lambda? Lambda is packing factor. Packing factor should be lesser. And what is dr? Dr is nothing but the particle size of the stationary phase. That should be lesser. Okay, so this is our first factor, that is factor A, which is independent of the flow rate. It has nothing to do with flow rate. Second factor B, that is contribution of molecular diffusion or longitudinal diffusion to H. As I have told you earlier, whenever the sample is introduced inside the column, initially it is all mixture. Slowly the bands, they start separating. Okay, but when these bands are separating and they're flowing down, simultaneously these bands also diffuse on either sides, and this diffusion on either sides may lead to remixing of the band. Okay, so if remixing is happening, that means here whatever separation has happened, that was of no use. So to control this molecular diffusion, we have to control this longitudinal diffusion so that there is no remixing of the band. There is limited band broadening. Okay, there is control over the peak width. So how that is possible? So as per this formula or equation, you can see in the denominator of B, U is added. What is U? U is flow rate of mobile phase. So flow rate of mobile phase is in the denominator. I want to reduce overall value of this B by U. Okay, because if B by U value is reduced, then only H will be reduced. Okay, so according to this, to reduce this overall B by U, I have to increase this U. That means flow rate has to be increased. If I'm increasing flow rate, that means I am giving lesser time of contact of the solute with the fresh mobile phase. Okay, so less time of contact of the solute with the mobile phase can be achieved by increasing the flow rate. So fast this mobile phase is passing down, fast it is taking up the solute to the next levels. Okay, down the column. Okay, and thus it will not have, solute will not have much time to diffuse on either sides. So that is the intention, and thus this U is kept at the denominator so that overall value of this B by U will be reduced. Okay, now this B is represented mathematically as 2 psi dm. Okay, now what is this psi? That is the obstruction factor. Okay, what is this obstruction? Obstruction, because obstruction for the flow of the solute molecule down the column because of the stationary phase. Okay, because of the stationary phase. And dm This dm is the uh, diffusion coefficient of solute in the mobile phase. Okay, so here we are considering the diffusion coefficient of compound in only mobile phase, because only the mobile phase is responsible for diffusion of solute here, whereas what is the role of stationary phase? That is just obstructing the flow of solute down the column. Okay, so here minimum time for diffusion to occur, which is that means mobile phase is not allowed to stay at one spot for longer time, and hence diffusion to fresh mobile phase is avoided. Diffusion of solute to fresh mobile phase is avoided. Now let us see next factor, that is contribution of mass transfer under non-equilibrium conditions to H. What is this non-equilibrium conditions? Non-equilibrium, and equilibrium means what? Means whatever sample I have injected into the column, into the stationary phase, okay, and I'm adding the mobile phase so that the solute is flowing down the column. At each plate there is exchange or equilibrium of solute, right? Means what? Means there is complete transfer of solute from stationary phase to mobile phase is happening at each plate. That is called as equilibrium. Okay, and non-equilibrium means incomplete transfer of the solute to the stationary phase or to the mobile phase. Now, according to the earlier factor, that is factor B, we have seen that the flow rate has to be increased, okay, so that the overall value of B by U will be reduced and H will be reduced. But if I do this, okay, if I do this, what will happen? This U is increased, that means this overall CU will be increased. Okay, means what? Means mobile phase is flowing fast down the column. So when it is flowing fast down the column, that means there is not sufficient time of contact between solute and mobile phase for the complete transfer at each plate. Okay, that means it is leading to non-equilibrium. It is leading to non-equilibrium. If I increase flow rate, there is non-equilibrium. There is no complete transfer of solute or no complete exchange happening of solute at each plate. So some traces of the solute will always remain behind, and that will keep on increasing the bandwidth. Now here this C is because of mobile phase also and because of stationary phase also. Okay, so this CS is equal to QR d square by ds, whereas the Cm is equal to omega dp square by dm. Okay, so CS results from resistance to mass transfer at the solute to stationary phase interface, and the CS is directly proportional to effective thickness of the stationary phase and inversely proportional to the diffusion coefficient of the solute in stationary phase. Slow molecular movements within the stationary phase means longer time spent in this phase by the solute molecules. If mobile phase velocity is high and mass transfer rate is slow, then solute band will be broader. Okay, whereas the Cm represents resistance to mass transfer between adjacent streamlines of the mobile phase. It is directly proportional to the square of particle diameter of the column packing and inversely proportional to the diffusion coefficient of solute in mobile phase. Okay, so rapid mass transfer depends on the factors which are originating from the stationary phase as well as mobile phase, and thus here CS and CM both are considered. Okay. Here both the phases are responsible for mass transfer under non-equilibrium condition. So you may ask now that one factor is saying that increase the flow rate, another factor is saying reduce the flow rate. So what should be the optimum flow rate? So for that we can plot all these factors on a graph. Let us see that. So here when I say graph, it will have y-axis, it will have x-axis. I am finding out the optimum flow rate, okay, flow rate of mobile phase, okay, and the main factor is HATP, that is plate height, which has to be reduced. As per this equation, H is equal to A plus B by U plus CU. Okay, as per this, my first factor A is independent of flow rate. So this line I am drawing for factor A. Next factor is B. Okay, next factor is term B. So as mobile phase flow rate of mobile phase is increased, plate height will be reduced. So as flow rate of mobile phase is increased, plate height will be reduced. Okay, now you can just uh, put some random values and you can check. Okay, suppose this B is 1, okay, and I am continuously increasing this U. So 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, you can just go on substituting here, and what you will observe that if I go on increasing this flow rate up to certain value, this overall B by U is reduced, but after some time, after some point, after some value, there is not much reduction in the overall B by U. Okay, and thus this plateau region has been achieved here. And the last term C, direct relationship, as I increase the flow rate, H will be increased. So as flow rate is increased, H will be increased. So this is factor B, this is representing factor C. Okay, and then net effect of all these factors I will draw here with dotted lines, and this point which is there, no, that is the U optimum, that is the optimum flow rate which is observed. So at this flow rate, if I work at this flow rate, if I work, I will have the good resolution with limited band broadening. Okay, so a very good control over the peak width can be obtained if I work at this flow rate. So that's it, all about zone broadening, plate theory and rate theory. If you have any doubts, you can put your queries in the comment section. I will be happy to answer your queries. So thank you very much. Happy learning. All the best.